for the last week we have gone through the string and date function. So this week I plan for the new number functions and logical functions. We will just jump directly into the number functions. Need to remember any function name or like syntax. So basically, if we are with the idea like if you want to do the purpose, do we have any function or not? If we know that much, that's enough, because Tableau has everything, function, syntax, everything in the dialog box itself. When you create new calculation, and if you type any function, right side it will show the syntax and purpose, everything. So now we will quickly jump on to number and logic. So number function, first one, absolute function. What it does, its absolute function returns the absolute value of the number irrespective of the sign. So degree function returns basically converts the radians to degrees. And exponential function, as we all know, exponential function is direct, like e power something. If you want to use, then we can use the exponential function. And also you people might get a question like, what there is a need for okay. In the degrees, why do we need degrees is some visualizations like where we make orbit chart, which Jagdish took in one of the pop show, and radial bar chart. For all those we use trigonometric function to achieve the circularity, all those. So in that case we need the degree function and radian function, all those. So I found one of the application of the trigonometric function and degrees, all those, is to make some of the customized visualization like orbit chart and radial bar chart, all those. Maybe some other function, some other applications also might be there, but I am not aware. So ln function, this is basically, it returns the nature log of the number. Log function returns the log of the number based on the given base, at any base whichever you want. If no base is provided, by default it takes 10, which is like mathematically, if no base is mentioned, it will be like base to the power 10. And pi function returns the value of pi. Power function, so power function is basically, it's like quite direct. So number and the exponent, if you give number and the function if you give, and if you use the power function, you'll be able to calculate. A radian function, as I said already, similar to degree. If you give the degrees, you will be able to get the radians. And round number is usually used to truncate the number to the number of decimal digits we want. So this avoids the error which we generally get because of the truncation. Just randomly we will give percentage decimal 2 places, even that also it works. But if you are more specific, then we can use the round function, so we will get the number of decimals as mentioned. Sign function, so sign returns only the sign, not the value. Like if it is positive, it will return +1, and negative, in that case -1. If it is 0 or I it will return 0. Also square root function is straightforward. Like if you want to find the square root of some function, maybe in some formulas or calculated field, we might use this function to calculate square root, square, all those. So in that case we can use square root as well as square, whichever we need. All these functions are like straightforward. And syntax is also square root of number whichever you want to find, and for square also same case. Zn function, this is like most important function, in the sense sometimes value may not be there. For example, assume in a calculated field you have 3 fields and one is 0, remaining all have values. And if you are doing addition or division or multiplication, what happens is, for example, assume profit loss, okay, so profit minus loss is the net amount you get, or some maybe sales, okay, selling price, cost price, we can keep like that. So selling price minus cost price will give us the profit or loss. Basically, if it is greater than 0, then profit, less than 0, loss. Some case what happen if the data is not there for any one of the field, what it does is 52, assume like 2 values. So if it is null is there in one value, in the other value, if you other field you have value, so see, because of null is there, what it returns is the outcome will be null. Though we have one field like profit, and if it one field selling price and cost price, if the value is not there and it's null, then in that case it will return the outcome as null. To avoid that situation, what we can use is Zn function. So what does is, for example, 5,000 you keep as selling price and cost price we don't have data, or it is null. So in that case, what it does is it will return 0. So we'll get it as like 5,000. If we don't use the Zn function, it will return null. So we may not have like idea where's the problem or where's the thing. So in order to convert the nulls as 0, we can use Zn function. So Zn function converts the particular field to null if it is 0. Particular field to 0 if it is null. Sorry. So sine function returns directly the value of sine. But the syntax is like we have to specify the angle in radians. So if you are not having the angles in radians, then we can degrees, then you can use the function radians. So sine inside we can use the radians, then we can put the degree, so it will return the angle from degrees to radians and we can get the value of sine. So as I mentioned already, this trigonometric function we basically use to make the customized visualizations. And similarly sine, cos, we have all tan, cot, and asine. Asine is nothing but sine inverse. So if we sine inverse returns the R sine of the number and the result will be in radians. Cos returns the cos inverse and A tan inverse. And coming to the max and min function, so max function basically returns the maximum on the single expression. So it will be like row wise. So if you it will be in a row wise based on the, if you don't fix the level of detail, so by default it will take in a row wise, and if you type the max, then it will execute it at row wise and it returns the maximum of both the field numbers in both the fields. And minimum functions also similar to max, it returns the minimum value in the min function. So now we will switch on to logical functions. So now we have gone through...
Jairam, one quick thing. Jairam, sorry. Hey, just go back to the max, etc. So max, and I think you had one other function. Min function, yeah, okay. So, see, I didn't understand when you said it will take rows, is it? What exactly do you mean there?
So sometimes if you type like max profit, you can see all the numbers will... Okay, let me...
So in, for example, see, I think in Tableau, we can only specify a field name, right?
Yeah, we can specify the field name, but in some case we can use, for example, for fixed city, for particular city, if you want to find the max sales. So in that case, we can use LOD. So if you fix the city level, though if you put the sales like what in the city, whichever has maximum sales, only that comes. Other than that, if you use max sales, no difference between putting sales and max sales. Like each row, that will be the max and it will get executed and so on.
Okay, got it. Got it. So, see, I'm trying to understand. How this works. Maybe a couple of examples here will help Jairam, if possible. So, yeah.
So the function min slightly works like in this particular case little different from the aggregation min. So if we drop the Jairam, can you drop like minimum category is good, and drop profit into columns with aggregation minimum. Yeah. Okay. So it's taking basically in that particular furniture category of all the rows, it's giving me minimum, what is the minimum profit recorded at a row level. Okay. If you write the function as a calculated field like minimum of profit, it will give based on the level of view. So at present we have at a category level view, so it will give the same thing. So other thing Jairam told in the PPT is like if we have two things like inside minimum, if we have profit and there is one more field, let's say sales, I think then it will result a minimum of those both. Is that correct? Is that correct, Jairam?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Got it. So maximum similarly would give maximum of both. So basically, if you just give one field, then it will look at it at a row level and then give you the sort of maximum number. If it is a max, for example, that we're using, then in that particular field, it will give you the least. And if we have to do a sort of a segment, sort of a maximum within a segment of the data, then we have to use an LOD to get the right number. Is that right? So for example, if we say, okay, I want minimum of the furniture category, for example, then you do write an LOD, and then on top of it, use the max or the min.
Depends.
And also there is a need for LOD when the furniture is not in the specification. If it is there, then if you write LOD also, it doesn't make any sense.
Just repeat that, Jairam.
If in view already furniture is there, and if you write LOD, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah,
or something.
It's the same. Yeah,
so
because you already have the same subsegment. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Understood. Okay, good, great, thank you.
So we will move the logical function. So logical function, and if expression 1 and expression 2. In this case, what happens is both expression 1 and 2 both has to be true, then only then will get executed. And next case is like a kind of a logical test and return appropriate value. So case expression, this expression is mostly the field which you will like fix, and when the value 1 what is supposed to return, when the value 2 what it's supposed to return, like that. Like multiple checkings can be multiple logical tests we can do with the case function. So here is the example: case region when best, then when is, then true, else 3. So in this case, like though we have like north and south, for both of them it will return the as 3. So when you want to specify like multiple logical operation, we can use the case, and the syntax is case expression. Expression here is mostly the field, and the value in the sense the data which is inside the field, which is as value, and return is like what you want to replace or what you want to show instead of those places. That's the return 1, 2. Like when you want to perform multiple logical test, we can go with like case rather than writing if, else, like so many times. So else is also one of the logical operations. So if expression is true, then it will get will get executed. Else otherwise the else part will get executed. So here it's a clear example is given, like if profit is greater than 0, then profitable, else loss. So else if is nothing but a series of if statement, like which you want when you have multiple series of expression to be checked. So if profit greater than 0, then profitable, else if profit is equal to 0, then. So if part fails, then it goes to the else if. If else if is like true, then will get executed, or otherwise else will get executed. And
so Jairam, so else is always used in conjunction with if, is it?
Yeah.
So can else be used in conjunction with any other function? Number 1, and number 2, can else sort of coexist with else if?
Else
in fact it's there, yeah.
It cannot be used in any other function other than if and else if.
Okay. Correct. I think in the end it looks like you can use else. The example is there. Okay.
So else if we can. What is the difference between else and else if is we can't put any like testing with else if. Like here you see profit greater than 0. Any conditions exactly. If we can put conditions only on if and else if. In else it's like lost. If nothing is there, if null is there, what it should executed. That's what else. In else if we can put the conditions also.
Okay, excellent, perfect, got it.
Yeah. Also we can have only one if, and we can have multiple else if in else if this thing. So that's why we have else if, so that we can put more expressions and arguments, more than one.
Yeah, else is like catch-all, right? So for every other
whatever is rest out in the loop. Yeah. So end is basically to expression. It's basically by syntax, like we will put at last so that the argument get executed. And if is the like if we use to just have a series of expression to be tested. So basically, like if and everything comes under two category: if and else if. So if is to test only single expression, and if you have multiple, we can go with else if, and the end everything fall under the same loop. So if null. So if null is to if null basically to use to maybe used in the function field in which there are more number of nulls, and we want to how to aggregate those nulls. So if null expression 1, expression 2, what it does is returns expression 1 if it is not null. If it is null, then returns expression 2. So like as you see, if null profit 0, this can be replaced with zn function which you have already seen. So directly if it is null, then automatically that zn function will return 0. And if if, so if test then else unknown. So what it does is like whether the condition is met or not. If it is true, then directly it will go for then, and if it is false, rather directly it will go to the unknown. So if profit greater than 0, directly profit, and if not, then directly it will go to loss. So this is the might be like when we have one condition, rather than going if else writing so much, we can go for if. So if it is true, what happens, and if it is false, true or false kind of thing, we can go for if. So directly it will return if profit is greater than 0, profit, or is null. There is no need like if profit is greater than 0, then profit, else loss, and all those. So it basically saves time. And yeah, is date string which you have already seen. So if the date is, if the string format is some field we have.
So just a quick question, guys. Everyone else can also ask questions, okay? Right. So the if. So sorry, I didn't catch where exactly if is going to be useful. Is it when, let's say, when the field is null, for example? Is then when it's going to be useful, or because you already have an if and then, right? And you also have an else category. So else, is else not the catch-all here? Why is there a different unknown here?
Chaitanya, this if looks like more like an Excel if. So in Excel, what we do is we put a condition, then we put a comma. If the condition is true, we put the value.
Correct.
Then we put a comma. If condition is false, then we put a value.
Correct.
So it's similar to that. It's not in different with if and else. It's just a short form of writing it.
No, I think there is already an if condition. This is in addition. There is some additional functionality that is happening. See, I understand the if if there is a condition and then there is a true, there is a false, right? Here also we have a true, we have a false as well. Okay. In addition to that, there is something called unknown, which maybe if it is null or something, maybe it could be useful, is what I'm thinking. Is it? Oh, there you go. An optional third value or null if unknown. I don't understand what the meaning is when it says unknown.
Example, profit. So if profit greater than 0, then profit. If it is like less than 0, automatically loss will get executed. So there might be some null values where data may not be there, which will be like null. In that case, like all those nulls should be executed as what? That's what here, like unknown is there, right? So it might be the third category, like which won't fall under both this, then it falls under the third category, null.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
So is date, so when the string is in date format, to ensure like is it the proper date or not, then we can go with the isDate function. And also is null is the function which is used to see whether the given is valid data or not, like is null profit. So if there is some value like either greater or less than 0, then it will return true, and if it is like no data, then it doesn't contain, if it doesn't contain data, means if it is null, then true. If it has data, proper data, then it will return false. And max and min, which you have already seen there. And not is basically a negative of profit. Negative of like whatever you show. If not profit greater than 0, in the sense like it's like it's a negative. If profit greater than 0, in the sense like directly profit greater than 0. If not profit greater than 0 is like if profit less than 0. It's like against of what we write without not. That's the case. Then or as we have seen, and if expression 1 and expression 2, in the sense both should be true, then it will go to then part. Similar to that, we have or here, if expression 1 or 2, whichever like satisfied, if any one of them satisfied, then it will go to the then part. So then part, like it's like basically it comes under if else if everywhere. For syntax, like if it is true, then will get executed. Then here we have when function. When will mostly come in the case where like when the function is true, then will get executed. Zn, which you have already seen, if it is null, then Zn will replace the null as 0, and if it is not null, it will show the value whichever it's there. Yeah, that's all.
Hey, when is very interesting. So just just help understand that again, please.
So
how
when
is this
basically comes in the case function which you have seen.
Oh, okay.
Case which you have seen.
Okay. Got it.
Then expression is nothing but a field when it is value 1. Like here we may go with the example. So case region, whenever the region is west, it will be replaced by 1. Whenever it is east, then it will be replaced by 2. Whenever it is north and south and or like null, then it will replace with 3. So basically there is no significance of much learning because when we will use only under the case category, case function. So whenever we use case function, we will go with the syntax when and then. Yeah.